Hi guys, this is Brian with River City Outdoors 85. Coming to you on a really warm Sunday afternoon. This is a weekend when I have my boys, and we just posted a cooking video that the boys and I did for dinner last night. And today we're going to be doing another cooking video for you guys. But this one's going to be a bit more in-depth as far as prep work and stuff is concerned. So I hope you guys really enjoy this. Before we get started on the preparation process, there was a couple of things I wanted to go over. Today we're going to be smoking some meat. And in particular, we're going to be smoking ribs. Baby back ribs. Pork, of course. I've been doing, grilling and barbecue and smoking meat and stuff for a long time now. And in that time period, I've read a lot of internet forums and a lot of articles out there on the internet in relation to barbecue. I've watched a ton of you guys' barbecue videos out there on social media. I've watched some, barbecue television shows and a bunch of stuff. I really enjoy watching that kind of content and seeing how other people do it and seeing what kind of recipes are out there and all that sort of thing. So I thought that I would share with everybody out there, kind of how I do ribs. So I've got three basic ways that I cook ribs. I kind of have it broken down into like level 1 ribs, which are, the simplest, easiest way to cook ribs. And then level 2 ribs, which are, kind of an intermediate level. They're a little more difficult, a little more time consuming, and require, a few more supplies to get the job done. And then like level 3 is like, all out ribs. Like if I was gonna, cook a competition or something, you're pulling out all the stops, going, absolute maximum on everything, and turning out the best ribs that you can possibly make. So today we're basically going to start a 3-video series where in each video I'm going to cook ribs. And for the first time on this video today, we're going to do what I consider to be level 1 ribs, which is essentially the the easiest ribs to cook, least amount of prep work, least amount of ingredients required, least amount of time, and the least amount of overall effort to get the job done. You still turn out a great product, but it's less intensive overall. And then then we'll go on to the next time I cook, we'll do level 2 ribs and then level 3 ribs after that. So I thought I'd take this time to kind of give you guys an introduction to what we're doing today before we get started. I'm gonna cut the video for now, and then we'll be back to you with rib preparation, and then getting the pit set up to cook ribs and show you what we're going to do there. And then we'll be back with you on different sections of video as the cook goes along, showing you guys our progress and what we're doing in the meantime and everything else. So I'll be back with you shortly. Thank you. Hi guys, this is Brian with River City Outdoors 85, back with you again, and we're ready to start the prep process for our ribs. So what we're going to start on here is we have 2 racks of pork baby back ribs, okay? And every rack of ribs you have meat side here, and then you have your bone side, okay? And the majority of these ribs have, as you can see, it's already kind of hanging loose here, this membrane on the back of them. And when if you leave this membrane on when it's cooked, it becomes kind of tough and chewy. It's not terribly enjoyable to eat, and it also kind of blocks smoke penetration from the bottom side of the ribs. So you don't get as much smoke and smoke flavor to your ribs as you can if you don't pull the membrane off. So we're going to take good basic pair of catfish skinners, which are nice and clean and sterile, by the way, and we're going to peel the membrane off the back of these ribs and get them ready to go in the cooker. I've even seen where Myron Mixon from Jack's Old South Barbecue, where he markets these as rib membrane pullers, and the ones I've saw in his videos that he's marketing are basically just catfish skinners. So that's what I like to use. And since I fillet catfish, I very seldom ever use these for actual catfish anyway. I use them for ribs more than anything else. So we're going to grab this membrane and we're gonna get to pulling it off, and it may kind of break up and pull off in different parts, but so we get a good run on it. We're gonna peel it all the way off on the end here. We're gonna set it off over here. Okay, so the only other thing we do for rib prep, we're gonna turn this around. Okay, so this end is pretty nice and clean here. There's a little bit there I'm gonna take off. But you see we kind of got some, it's a little jagged and kind of messy here. We're gonna take our knife, and we're just gonna cut that. That's mostly fat hanging off there anyway. Nice and square and even, okay? And there's a couple little bits hanging loose here from where these were processed in the butchering process. So for now, we're just gonna set this rack up here, okay? And we're gonna go to this rack. This rack out of the package has pretty well got the membrane already pulled off of it for the most part. I mean, there's a little bit here that they didn't get off, but I noticed when I pulled these out of the package that they got the majority of the membrane off of this rack already as it was. There was just a little bit to get off that they didn't get trimmed off. And some ribs, when you buy them, they are already, you know, trimmed up and they've already got the membrane pulled off of them. And you can tell when the membrane's pretty well gone, because you don't have that real sticky sliminess on the back of them, and these are pretty well, you know, the same looking as those. So now there is a little vein right here we don't want to get rid of right quick. We'll just cut that off. Don't really have one on that one. And so they did a pretty good job on trimming this rack of ribs as far as the membrane goes. We can pull a couple of little pieces of fat off of there. And then we can pretty much do the same thing with this rack that we did with the other one. Kind of got this little loose ends here and stuff. We'll trim some of that off and square that up real nice. Okay, so we pretty much got these two racks of ribs. We're going to trim this a little bit off of here. Pretty much got these. Okay, so now we pretty much have both of these racks ready for the next step in this process. So since both of my gloves are dirty and I don't want to get my bottle of rub all dirty, I'm going to take one glove off. Okay, set it over here. Now, you can season ribs with pretty much anything that you want to. And you could do just salt and pepper if you like. Or you could do a salt and pepper garlic like people do on brisket. Or you could do, you know, like Lawry seasoning, salt and black pepper. I've done that before and that turns out really good. But what I really prefer is a good dry rub. Because the dry rub's got your salt and sugar, and usually brown sugar and garlic and onion and a lot of other ingredients that give you a really good flavor in your ribs or any other type of barbecue that you're doing. And it gives you a good color and helps build a good bark. So the rib rub that we're going to use today is Killer Hogs Rib Rub. This is made by Malcolm Reed at Killer Hogs. He's got a really good barbecue channel. I really enjoy watching his videos. And some time ago, it's been within the last year, I decided to start trying his products because I had tried a whole bunch of others before that. And I really like the Killer Hogs Rub, and this rib rub is really, really good. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop the top on here. We're going to start on the bone side, and we're going to coat our ribs down with a good solid coating of dry rub on the bone side. Okay, and then we're going to do over here to this rack, we're going to do the same thing. Good solid coating of rub. Okay, and then we're gonna pat that in and get that, you know, pushed in there, kneaded in there real nice and stuff so it sticks real good. Okay, same thing on this rack. Okay, then we got this side done for the most part. We can shake a little more on there and maybe a little bit more here. Okay, now we're going to flip both of these racks over, and we are going to put the dry rub on the other side of the ribs. You just want a good solid coating over the whole rack, okay? To give you a really good flavor, a really good coating, build a nice bark, and really nice color on your ribs while they're cooking. Now, some people, of course, they like to sauce their ribs after they've, when they're just about done cooking. And some people like, a dry rub or a seasoning only. I like them both. I actually prefer dry rub only a little more than sauce. But in our household, we have a mixture. We have some of us that like dry rub only, and we have some of us that like sauce. So I usually do 2 racks of ribs, and I do one with dry rub only, and the other one sauced. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay. So we've got good solid coating of rub, both racks of ribs on top and bottom. So for right now, what we're going to do, we're going to set these back on this metal pan, and we're going to, since we're just outside the garage and we have a stand-up freezer in the garage, we're going to slide these off in the stand-up freezer to keep them cool while we get everything else ready to cook these ribs. And the reason we're going to keep them cool is because when ribs or any other cut of meat that you're going to smoke, if you leave them out and you let the internal temperature warm up, they don't take as much smoke, because what we know from research is that meat stops absorbing smoke at around 140 to 145 degrees. So if you let your ribs, or whatever it is, sit out and warm up, they won't absorb as much smoke during the cook. It will take less time for them to cook, but they also won't absorb as much smoke. Since we want good smoke in our ribs today, we're going to slide them in the freezer, let them get cold while we prep the cooker and everything else, and we'll come back to you here shortly with cooker preparation, and then we'll get the ribs in there and all that. So we'll see you in a bit. Hi guys, this is Brian back with you at River City Outdoors 85. We're going to get to the next part of this rib cook. I got my little buddy Mason here sitting in the shade under the canopy with me. Hunter's currently upstairs playing a game of Fortnite right now, so he'll join us here in a bit when he's done. So we're going to get everything set up over here at the pit. Okay, so as you can see, what we're cooking on again today is our 26-inch Weber kettle. I do a lot of cooking, grilling and smoking in this thing. I have, for the most part, already got it cleaned up. I got all the ashes out of it from last night, and excuse me, got it cleaned up. I got us a bed of unlit charcoal banked over on the opposite side, and if you look down here, I have the bottom vents halfway open. And that's important because we're also going to have the top vents halfway open on this cook. I've cooked ribs like this many times, and so of course I'm very used to what this cooker does and what kind of weather and what kind of ventilation I need and so forth. So we have charcoal over here in our chimney. It's pretty much ready to go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put hot charcoal on top of this unlit charcoal, and that is going to burn down and outward and give us a nice slow burning fire with a good consistent heat. And since we're doing just level 1 ribs today, just basic ribs, we're going to use charcoal only. And a lot of people would probably tell you that you can't get a good smoke ring or good smoke to your ribs or whatever it is you're cooking with just charcoal only. And the truth about the matter is anybody who says that is just wrong, or just hasn't tried it for themselves to see what the results are, because I assure you, at the end of this video, you're going to see we're going to get good smoke to these ribs and a good smoke ring, and we'll have really good flavor, because at the end of the day, this is Kingsford charcoal briquettes, and they're made out of hardwood. So it is going to provide us smoke through the whole cook, and a good, clean, consistent smoke with a good, consistent temperature. So throughout this cook, we will be, of course, checking our ribs. We're going to be rotating them around to keep them cooking nice and evenly, and we will be adding a little charcoal here and there. Okay, so right now we're going to get this kettle set up to cook. We're going to go over here. We got nice hot white briquettes ready to go. I got about 1/3 of a chimney we're going to put just right here on top of this unlit charcoal like I described. Gotta kind of shake them around, make sure they're dispersed nice and evenly. And if any of them fall, we have a tool to help us out with that. It looks like we did a pretty good job here. I'm going to set that back down over there. And so I've got this Weber, as you can see, kind of charcoal rake thing. You can use it for pushing charcoal or pulling charcoal, or you can get up underneath it and scoop it around. So I'm going to use this to kind of even out the top of what we got going on here, so we get a nice even burn across our whole fire, across all of our unlit charcoal. Okay, so that's nice and hot, and that looks pretty good. We're going to leave that like that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our fire grate. We're going to get it. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. My cameraman, Mr. Hunter, is playing Fortnite right now. So, alright, so I had already kind of pre-cleaned the grate, but we're going to take our brush over the fire. We're going to, since this is getting hot, we're going to give it a little extra cleaning here on the hot side, and kind of go across that like that. And you know, knock any little bits that we have off. And then we're gonna grab this here, and we're gonna rotate this around like so. Do a little more cleaning here. Okay. Using the heat to help us, you know, make sure we get it nice and clean and sterile for cooking meat. And we're going to rotate it around once again and do the same thing over here. Okay, now we're going to turn it around one more time, because we want, as you can see, the factory cooking grate that comes with a 26-inch kettle is just like the cooking grate that comes with the premium 22-inch. So it has the hinged grate on each side. And we want that over our fire, so if we need to add fuel to it, we can open that up and add some charcoal in on top of that. Okay? Alright. So that's pretty much set up. We got our vents on the bottom halfway open. Now we're going to come over here and get our lid. We're going to put it on, and we're going to let this warm up a bit. As you can see, we're about halfway open on our top vent as well. So we'll be back with you in just a minute when we get our ribs on and get them cooking. Hey guys, we're back with you here. I got now Hunter and Mason back down here with me. Hunter's all finished up with his Fortnite game and he won. Mason's back here with me too. And we just got our ribs set in our Weber kettle. They had been in the freezer, staying nice and cold for about 15 to 20 minutes. We got a good fire going. Got our ribs here set up for offset smoking. Again, we're doing level 1 ribs, so we're doing charcoal only. We're not doing any fancy thermometers or anything else. No water pan. Just straight smoking some ribs with charcoal. Okay, so now we're going to get the lid down on our grill and let these get to cooking. As you can see, we're putting the vent directly over the top of the ribs, okay, so that the smoke has to flow around underneath and on top of those ribs before it can exit the grill. So that's going to supply us our heat and our smoke for cooking these ribs. We have the bottom vented about halfway and the top vented about halfway. This is going to give us a nice, steady, consistent cook while keeping our fire going and burning nice and clean. You can see we got a bit of smoke coming out, a nice, clean, just light blue smoke. And that's going to give us a really good rib cook today. So, since we're all set up, and cooking now. We're going to be back with you here in about an hour, and we're going to check on our ribs, see if we need to add some fuel, and we're going to rotate ribs around, and we're going to keep coming back to you every hour until we're all finished up, and then we'll give you some video on the finished product and whatnot. So we'll be back to you in a bit. All right, guys, this is Brian back with you again. We have our ribs have now been in the cooker for an hour. We're going to pull the lid up. We're going to check them out. We're going to rotate them around, and we're probably going to add some more charcoal to the fire to keep it burning nice and consistent. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the lid.
Oh, those look good.
Yeah, they're looking good. Okay. All right. So we still got a good fire going. As you can see, the ribs are starting to look really nice. So here's what we're going to do here. Face them back up just a little bit so you don't get burnt. Okay. We're going to grab our rack of ribs and we're going to turn it around. And we're going to grab this one. We're going to turn it around like this. And we're going to pull these back over. Okay. So here, so what we've done here is we started with one rack, with this rack on this side and this one on this side, and with the other sides facing the other way. So we turned them around and rotated them back so that we get a nice even cook on our ribs. Okay. Now that we're done with that part, we're going to flip this grate up, and we are going to, I'm going to pull a glove off my hand here, and we're going to add, about 10 or 15 pieces of charcoal to our fire. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Here, we'll add one more over here to this side. That's 16. So,
did that burn your hand?
no, you kind of drop it off to one side here. So we're going to use our little Weber tool that I talked about earlier. And we're going to pull this back up here like so. Going to make sure that sits nice and even on there so it'll catch fire good and all that. And we'll fish that back out of there. Okay.
These smell good.
Yeah, they're looking good and they're smelling really good.
They smell really
Okay,
good.
I see a bare spot here. We'll add one more like right there. And, heck with it, we'll go ahead and add another one. So we added 18, okay, all together?
18.
Okay, so now we're going to flip that back up like so.
Yep.
And we're going to take the rest of my gloves off so we don't get junk all over the handle to the lid.
Yep.
And we're still vented halfway shut on the bottom and halfway shut on the top. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to get our grill closed back up. And we are looking good. 1 hour in,
You gonna close that thing?
rotated our ribs around, and we added some fuel to our fire. So we're going to keep on cooking. We'll be back with you guys in the next hour, and we'll see you then. Alright guys, this is Brian. I'm back with you. We are at hour 2 on our rib cook. So we're getting ready to take the lid off again. We're going to rotate our ribs around like we did the last time and add a little charcoal so we can get to hour 3. We're going to see what we're looking like right now.
Yep.
And as you can see, the ribs are looking awesome. They're starting to cook real good. Here, sit back a little bit, buddy. So, we're going to do like we did before. We're going to grab them. We're going to rotate them around. And grab this rack and rotate it around. And we're going to swap them like we did the last time. So we get a nice even cook on both racks. Okay, now we're going to come up here. I'm going to take one of these gloves off so we can, well, I'm just going to take both black gloves off now. That way we can add some charcoal to our fire again. And then this cook, these ribs should be done in about 3.5 hours. So when we get to the 3-hour mark, we're going to sauce one rack, and we're going to close the lid back up and let them cook for about a half an hour to set that sauce real good. So this between hour 2 and hour 3 is going to be the last time that we have any charcoal, because we're not going to need any additional charcoal for the saucing part of the cook. So we're going to add about another 10 or 15 charcoal briquettes to our fire here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That one will be fine like that. 12, 13, 14. We're going to do 16. Well, hang on. We'll do 15. Whoops, 16. I got the same problem I had before. It fell down in there. So we're going to fix that like we did last time.
Yep.
So we'll turn it around and we'll dish it back up there so it gets on top of the burning charcoal and will actually burn, because being down there away from the rest of the fire, it's not going to burn, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, like if you make a mistake like that, there's nothing to worry about.
Okay. Alright, so we kind of got that all pushed back up here together so we can keep a nice even fire going. And we'll get that fished back out of there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Well, there's a couple little bare spots. I'll add a couple more, like right here. And I'll just add one more. So we'll do another 18 like we did before. Well, that's only a partial one, but it'll be okay. Okay, so we're going to close that back up.
Why'd you do that?
And we're going to hang our charcoal rake back up. Now we've got them rotated. Got some more fuel added. Everything's looking great. As you can see, we are not pulling away. We do not have meat pulling away from the bones quite yet. By the time we get to hour 3, we should have meat pulling away from the bones and ribs starting to get real nice and tender. We'll be ready to sauce a rack, but get the sauce set for a half an hour, and then we should have ribs done and ready to eat. Okay, so we're going to get the lid
Back on.
back on. We're still vented halfway on the bottom, halfway on the top. The lid, of course, directly over top of the ribs like we had before. And we are good to go for another hour. So we'll see you guys back in an hour and we'll see what these ribs are looking like. Okay. Alright guys, this is Brian. I'm back with you. We are now at hour 3 on our rib cook for today. We're going to take the lid off. We're going to see what they look like. We're going to rotate them around. We're going to sauce one rack because we should be ready for sauce. And then if we get sauce on at this point, we're going to go half an hour to let the sauce set good. And then we'll be ready to pull them, let them rest for a few minutes, and get them sliced up and see what we got. Okay? So we're going to get the lid off. Alright. Okay. So, if you guys, Hunter, bring the camera around on this side, please.
So
Around on this side.
okay, so like
Okay.
right here.
So you can see here where our rib tips are starting to show. We got good pull back here, and we got the same thing on this rack back here. So we're definitely getting done. We got excellent color. Okay. Ribs are looking perfect. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do.
Oh.
We're gonna lift this rack up, and as you can see, you got a good bend, but they're not falling apart. That means they're getting nice and tender. So we're gonna rotate these around.
Yeah.
We're going to rotate this around, okay, like this. We're going to set this rack over, like so, and I'm going to pull a,
Is there bones in it?
yeah, there is rib bones in there, sir. So, okay, I'm going to pull this glove off and put it off to the side here. Mason, can you grab that and pull it off my fingers, please?
Just pull the whole entire
Or just
thing
pull the
off?
whole entire thing. There we go. Thank you. Alright. So, since we are, as you can see, we got bones sticking out. We got good pullback, okay? So we're ready for sauce on this rack
How'd
of
you do
ribs.
it earlier? How'd you figure it out earlier?
I did it by myself, but I needed your help this time. Okay, so we're going to start on the bottom of this rack. We're going to put some sauce on. What we got here for sauce is Kinder's barbecue sauce, hickory brown sugar. This is a sauce we've used quite a few times. We really like this sauce. Good stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
We're going to take our silicone brush and we're going to paint the bottom of this rack of ribs up real nice.
Why'd you say paint?
Because, well, basically
It's
kind of
literally,
like
it's like brushing
Mason,
paint.
can you grab me that bottle? We're not quite done on this side yet. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get a little more on here.
And then after
You can hold that for me, sir. Okay, so we're going to get the bottom here sauced up real nice. Okay, now we're going to grab it, turn it over like so. Then we're going to get the other side sauced up real good.
And then we're gonna do the other one.
Then we're gonna paint it.
Alright, now we're going to paint that up real nice with some sauce. The ends, the sides real good.
It's gonna be really
Just want a good coat of sauce on there. It'll glaze up real nice. It'll, when we put the lid back on, we'll get that sauce set on there. It'll be a nice, good, sticky glaze. Okay,
And then let it cook for a little bit more.
looking real good. Let's see what we look like on the sides.
Looks pretty good.
Look pretty good. Well, I don't like to drown my ribs in sauce, but on the ones we do sauce, I like just to have a nice coat of sauce all over them. There you go, sir. We had a spot there in the very top in the middle that was a little sauceless, so we're gonna fix that.
Sauceless? You mean sauceless?
Sauceless, yeah. No, that means no having no sauce on it, right?
Yeah. Which
I mean, it had a little bit, but not a lot.
Well, it was a little bit, but it wasn't completely covered like I wanted it to be.
the
Okay.
charcoal got burned a lot.
Okay, now, as I said before, for this phase, we're not going to add any more charcoal. We got plenty enough heat source still left with this fire to get a good glaze on this sauce and finish these ribs up real nice. We're going to set this over here.
Hey, Daddy, can I try this after?
Hang on just a second, okay? And we're going to get our lid back on. We're going to have these in here for about a half an hour to get that sauce set real good.
Did you
And
already
then
do that one?
we'll be ready to
Yep.
take them out. We're only doing one rack of ribs with sauce, and we're going to leave the other ones with dry rub only, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good to go. All right, I'm back with you guys. The last part of this cook. We got the ribs all finished up and done. We got them out here on some butcher paper and a cutting board, and I'm going to get them cut up, show you guys what they look like, so we can get them upstairs and get to eating our dinner. So I'm going to turn them over. As you can see, they're nice and tender. When I took them off there, they started coming apart just a little bit, so they are definitely good and done. I'm going to turn them over because it helps to see the curve and the bones a little better. So I'm going to slice it here and here so we can take a look and see what we got in the middle. You see, we got nice, pretty pink smoke marks, and then the kind of the gray in the middle. Okay, that's what they should be looking like. See over here on this side, in the cross section here, you can see the same thing, that kind of greenish gray color through the middle. That's exactly what you're looking for, plus the pink from the smoke on the outside. So you can see we definitely got a good amount of smoke in these ribs, just cooking with charcoal only. I'm gonna get them sliced up real quick, panned up, and we'll be all finished up with this and ready to eat. Upstairs, waiting on us, we have some fresh corn on the cob, staying warm and ready to eat.
So some of these are not going to have like bones?
Well, they're all pretty much gonna have bones, okay?
Okay. So all of them except the like ends?
Well, yeah, there might be a couple end pieces that don't have any bone in them. So we're gonna have some fresh corn on the cob to go with this. That's already cooked and staying warm and ready. And we're gonna have some Velveeta bacon mac and cheese to go with it. That'll complete our Sunday dinner here. As you can see, once again, cross section of this rib. That's pretty much perfect. You get nice and tender, juicy ribs ready to eat. Okay, we're going to grab this rack, the sauce rack, we're going to flip it over here and do the same thing. Okay. We're going to get us a middle piece here.
Yeah.
See what we look like.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Alright, see there?
Like, I literally think I can eat it right now.
Perfect, just what
Yeah,
we're
me
looking
too.
for, okay?
You can't eat it right now, though.
I can eat it, but I don't want to eat it right now. We haven't even carried it upstairs yet.
Is that the sauce one?
Yep, this is the sauced ones, okay?
That looks really good. I can eat it right now.
Okay, we're gonna get
Yeah.
them over here. Get these over here. Slice up the last few pieces, and we're gonna be all finished up and ready to eat.
Yeah, the ends
We're
have
there.
like no bones.
Once again, perfect color throughout. Good to go. Level
more
one,
pieces.
Level 1 ribs, simple, easy, charcoal only, no water pan, no fancy thermometers, just really good ribs, done the easy, quick way. 3.5 hours total, sauce and everything. We got excellent looking ribs. They're gonna be awesome. Thank you guys. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, a great Sunday evening, and we'll see you in the next video here on River City Outdoors 85.